A few years back, my girlfriend and I were driving home from a party late one night. We decided to take some back streets we weren't too familiar with. Coming down one of the longer side streets, we noticed a figure up ahead walking along the sidewalk. As we got closer, we noticed it was small enough to be a child. Long hair and wearing just a nightgown. My girlfriend slowed the car as we drove past, just to double check. And sure enough, it was just a child. So we stopped the car. My girlfriend rolled the window down and called out to the little girl, who just stopped and looked at us as though she were in a daze. We decided to get out and help her. So my girlfriend got out first and approached the girl and asked her what she was doing out in the middle of the street so late. The little girl, still dazed, said she must have been sleepwalking. When asked where she lived, she simply turned and looked down the street and pointed. "Is it one of the houses down there?" my girlfriend asked. "We can take you there." The little girl just nodded. "What does your house look like?" my girlfriend asked. The little girl was thoughtful for a moment and then said, "It's a white house with roses out the front and a white picket fence." My girlfriend looked at me and I just shrugged. "Get in the car, honey," she said, and helped the little girl into the back of the car. "Come on, we'll drive you home and make sure you're okay." When we turned around and drove back down the street slowly, looking for the house with the white picket fence and the roses, we couldn't see any. "It's further down here," said the little girl, and so we drove on to the end of the street. "There, over there," the little girl said, pointing to a house off in the distance. When we drove on, we stopped at a house that did have a white picket fence and did have rose bushes, but they were heavily overgrown and the fence had fallen into disarray. "Wait here," my girlfriend said, and we both got out of the car to see if the lights were on or if anyone might be up. We looked about the house. Some of the windows were already broken. The walls were filthy. The garden was overrun. If anyone lived here, they certainly didn't look after the house. We went back to the car to ask the little girl if she was sure this was her house. And when we looked in the back seat, there was no one there. The two of us looked at each other completely mystified. Maybe she got out and ran. But my girlfriend was sure she locked the doors. And besides, if the child had to get out of the car, we would have heard the car door open and close, for we were no more than a couple of meters away from it. Looking up and down the long street, there wasn't a soul to be found. We talked about phoning the police, but then, tell them what? We found a little girl wandering up the street and put her in the car, only for her to disappear. Insane. So, we went home. We were both freaked for a few days after, and my girlfriend couldn't let it go. So she done a bit of investigating of her own on Google, and found that there was indeed a little girl that lived in that house, and that she did sleepwalk. It was a newspaper article saying about how a little girl had sleepwalked and left the house late one night and wandered onto the road, only to be hit by a car passing by. She died instantly. Soon after that, the family broke up and moved out of the house, and no one's been there since. That had been over 2 years before. I'll never forget that night. Ever. Hi guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and notification for more videos.